And we are live. Thank you very much. I'll even button up my shirt. Just doing a little after party here. JT has just done a fantastic job interviewing on his channel. Let me do a quick audio check here. Let's go audio 1 2 1 2. I want to say we're getting it, but I'm not positive. Maybe someone can throw me a bone on this one. I'm not positive. Oh, here's why. Let me go to here and pop the old headphones in. Yes. Do we have headphones? Yeah, we do. If I go back, okay, we've got the headphones. We'll take it down a tad bit. There we go. All right. And we're going to take the gain down a tad. Okay. There we are. So I should be have an output. If I don't, someone will tell me. Have egg on my face. It'll be all egg foo young for this young man this evening. But then again, maybe it won't. Let's go ahead and throw up a weather satellite shot just because we can. Let's go with the Conus East full disk. And we'll go ahead and go with the Loop 9. Band 9, I should say. The boys in the band. There we go, band 9, animation loop. We got animation loop up. We'll put 72. It's a nice number. We'll put that up there. There we go. And let's go ahead and bring that up. And we're going to go with present. Share a screen. And there we go. Share. There we are. The big blue marble is alive and well. Yes, it is. And we'll just, hey, it's Nourishment Redacted. Ellie, hello, welcome to the mighty big shoe here with the big blue marble. As we wait for people to pile on in, yep, here you go, Carnivore Scott, aka Scotty, and I am working on getting all the elements to work here. It's not always easy. This magic is pretty tough at times, but let's see what we can do to brighten this up a little bit. Can we brighten it? Survey says, oh, there he is. He's back. All right. So, Ellie, how are you? Welcome to this after party where people will kind of pile in. I've been doing this for about a week and a half now, where I'd have people pile in. A little bit from now, I'll go ahead and post the stream link in, and people can join me. Hello there, a low carb carnivore. Good to see you. Hey. There you go. Well, hey, look, we were talking. Somebody was up there in the Virginia area talking about some thunderstorm activity that was going to be problematic for the goats. And as we look here, you can see the thunderstorms all in Virginia right here. We could go ahead and pull back on that one. Maybe we can get just a little closer because, inquiring minds want to know. There we go. We have to not go with that. I don't know why my father called me this late at night. That's almost worrisome, but that's okay. Let's go back here. Matter of fact, let's go to we'll go down here to band 9. Band 9 shows a mid-level moisture. We'll bring in 72 shots. And there we can see. Oh, don't tell me. Well, I guess the Kakalaki, but no one wants to care. No one cares about the Kakalakis unless you're in Kakalaki. Well, guess we're going to have to go here. There we go. And we'll just smoosh it down a bit here. And I'll be looking at the other screen in just a moment. Sorry, I didn't look at it, but we'll go with 72 again. This is what happens when you're a weather guy for 20 years in the Air Force. And there it is right here. Okay. Hey, we're good. And you can see the satellite. This is water vapor, and that's obviously in the atmosphere. And you can see things blowing up right here in an axis right along here, just blowing up big time. And all that is outflow from this mesoscale right along here. And they get a little extra energy from this system here. Yeah, it's going to be pretty dynamic for a while there. And if we really want to have fun, what we'll do, we'll look at the lightning, the flash density. Nourishment, very interesting. Well, it's kind of interesting. Again, I did weather thing for 20 years in the Air Force. So it just kind of gives me something to do here in the YouTube world. I'm not going to compete with Ryan Hall, y'all, and all those other people who are storms chasers, but there are not a lot of weather folks out there in the carnivore community. So you got me. If you need a forecast or some type of information, I can also do political stuff, but that's about the extent of my life. So yeah, we just try to have a little fun here. We try to expand our horizons of knowledge. In the last show there on JT's, I was trying to talk about my discovery of a C18 stearic acid. Hello, Lisa. Welcome back. Welcome back. We're just waiting for people to pile in. People probably have to sign off with JT, and then they have to go run to the little boy and little girl's room, or walk quickly, whatever way it works. Wet your whistle, and then you come back in here. I'll probably be running this for a little bit this evening, and then there will be no after party on Friday night, because tomorrow night I am going to be doing some service work. We have a gentleman in our church who has fallen ill the past few months. I've talked about it before, and he is raising his grandson. And in raising his grandson and living as two, how would we say it? The grandson calls them country as cornflakes. Hello, Susan. Good to see you. Welcome back. Welcome to the house of Scotty P. And the after party, as we talk about all things carnivore, ketovore, whatever you want to talk about. We can talk about, right now we have the weather, but we can talk about all sorts of things. But yeah, I'll be doing some service work tomorrow night, because we're going to go clean this house up that's been vacant for many, many months. And before that, it was lived in by a couple of bachelors. And the gentleman, before he can go back home, we have to make sure that home is up to snuff, because he's suffering from multiple infections. So we want to make sure his house is good to go. So that's what we'll be doing tomorrow. Hello there, Miss Linda. How are you? How are you? How are you? Welcome back. Hey, by the way, just so everybody knows, and we're perfectly clear, I have no problem with you promoting your channel here. All right. Oh, yeah, it is kind of nice. You're right. Well, I'm retired now, and my wife and I find ourselves able to do more service work in our community with our community of friends. Sometimes it takes the form of cleaning the house, mowing a yard, or hello, good day there, Limitless Lindy. How I think down under. I trust the weather is okay down under. I really do. I know you're hoping that spring will come on, but it's almost there. You just gotta wait a little bit longer. The solstice happens on the September 22nd, 21st, give or take, plus or minus. That'd be the official. All right. But I trust that the weather's getting better. And we're talking about rings, right? Cold and wet. Yeah, I told you just can't buy into that. Not just yet. I mean, eventually you will be able to, right? Let's go right like there. So let me do this really, really quick. Now, today I'm going to let people come on in, but I'm probably going to do a one at a timer type thing, okay? I don't mind who we bring in. I don't mind what we talk about, but we're going to kind of keep it, I don't say under control, but that's a good word. So there you go. There's I know some people will email the link, and then you can jump in, and that's fine. But I'm not a big broadcaster. I'm not a big channel. I'm not like JT. I'm nowhere near like Carrie on Homestead How, or Dr. Baker, Dr. Chafee, or pretty much Dr. whoever Captain Kangaroo might be. I'm just Scotty P out here in North Alabama. Matter of fact, it might be good for everybody, because everybody doesn't know everybody. If you have a moment and you have the time, if you could just jot down real quick in your comment window, let us know where you're at. I am near Huntsville, Alabama, not Greenbow, Alabama, Huntsville, Alabama. Linda, you're all talking about, in the last thing with JT, we were talking about losing too much weight. And so, lose your wedding ring, right? Here's mine. It's not coming off, but even if it could, it wouldn't. However, here's another ring. I make silver rings at times. This is, I call it a very organic type thing. I just melt silver and hammer it into a ring, and then I hammer it and make sure it fits. Well, this ring now falls off. It's kind of a big ring. I don't know if I have anything to compare it to. Let's see if I have anything in my pockets that's equatable. Let me see. About a 13, I would say. No, I don't have anything in here. I don't have. Well, that's it. I'm absent of anything. Huh. Well, here's a guitar pick, and my ring fits. A guitar pick fits right through my ring. No problemo. Yes, it's a big ring. Put over my goofy thumb, but it would fall off. Melbourne, Australia. Love it. I was on Carrie's Canada, huge outpour of love there. Yeah, I know. That's the awesome thing. Carrie is very, very generous in shouting out people, and I think that's great because, as JT mentioned, as Carrie mentioned, the rising tide will lift all ships. Let me go ahead, instead of trying to guess about this stuff, I'll put some of these up here. I'm not going to be like with JT where you get a little bit behind because you have so many people commenting. That guy, Scott, Carnivore Scott, he comments way too much. Dig your rings out of a drawer. Wow. Well, you go dig those out. I bet you your husband would be tickled pink. Maybe he wouldn't like being tickled pink, but you know what I mean. Come on. Don't give me such a hard time about it. So we like to start off here. Does anybody, or would anybody like to venture or share a recent non-scale victory? I mean, you can put up a scale victory if you like. Like, I know some people weigh on Mondays, some people weigh on Fridays, some people weigh once a month. But I'm stepping away from the scale. I'm going to look at it next month. I'm not even going there. I'm going on the non-scale victories. And again, my non-scale victories are I can move and do things I just couldn't do before. Hello, Susan. Welcome back. Welcome back. Good to see you. Very good to see you. We're just now starting to make some introductions, making sure everybody knows everybody. I think everybody here knows everybody. Nourishment Redacted. Ellie is on, or was on, or could still be on. I can see there's roughly 6 people viewing. I appreciate each and every one of you. But I had some things I was going to talk about tonight. Let me see. Okay, so I'm going to talk about one thing a little later, but non-scale victory first. Non-scale 20 inches lost in 4 months. Well, congratulations. That is absolutely phenomenal. And I don't think enough people are making those measurements. I know I made some. I have them on a pad of paper over here, and it's amazing. I'm a paper pad guy. Actually, I'm just a confused, poorly organized person. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you can actually see that one. Okay, there we go. 4 separate pads. Yeah. Pads I got pads. Anyhow, that is awesome, though, to lose 20 inches in 4 months. And now tell us, Ellie, are you going to continue to is that motivation for you to continue? Are you going to be changing anything because of your success? Like, sometimes a little success means we get a little tighter in what we do. Sometimes it means we don't. I like to make videos taking the same photo and the same look with my measure. Oh, yeah, that is awesome. I think that's one of the things I'm looking forward here in doing these repetitive, nearly, 4 times, 5 times a week lives. So people can look at them and go, wow, look, there's a hollow spot right here in the cheek and another one over here. No, that's not a pimple. Dr. Pimple Popper's not coming over. Right? You're 100% committed. Sweet. That's really cool. Great to hear. Yeah, I just noticed that my inflammation is down. I am leaning now. I don't think you can tell here, but people talk about, I don't know. See, I don't know. You can kind of see it like little line of demarcation in my forearm muscle to my elbow. Sometimes we just don't see um, from our joints through the next joint to the next joint. It's just like a meat tube. And my body was one big meat tube. And now I'm starting to become a lumpy meat tube. And I never thought I'd be happy to say I'm a lumpy meat tube. Yeah, kind of look like, 10 pounds of sausage stuffed in a 5-pound sack. But that, you know what? I'm going to take it. Matter of fact, today I noticed on my lower belly, I noticed that I have a thin little fold starting to form. And I think that thin fold it's no longer full of subcutaneous adiposity type material, adipose material. Those fat cells, they're not gone. They've just said, oh, I'm shrinking. Oh, no. And now I got little flat fat cells just waving around. And we're waiting for the day that either apoptosis takes over, or maybe I get into a little autophagy and my body says, look, you're not working right. We don't like your kind around here anymore. So we're going to put a little lysome around you. And we're going to do a little, what do you call it, Soylent Green action on you, buddy, and then reconstitute it and use it in other places. That's what we're hoping for. All right. So Linda said 8 inches off in an area I couldn't even lose no matter what. Yep. Yeah. You giggle up a storm. Man. Hey, losing 8 inches is great. Losing 3 inches is great. I mean, we've got to be able to find our victories, and we need to be able to put them in proper perspective so that we can build off them, because there's plenty of detractors in our lives. Susan says, I treated my friend out to supper tonight for her birthday. I had a small grilled steak, a half a dozen scrimp of chicken breast with white cheddar cheese on top of them, and bad oils cooked in. You know what? I did very similar this evening. I did. I went to a buffet. We got, down south, we have buffets. And I went to this local buffet, and tonight was pork chop night. So I had myself 3 pork chops. Now, those pork chops weren't any thicker than maybe my little finger. It's not very thick. And I had a chicken thigh that was deep fried, southern deep fried chicken. Now, come on. Don't lie to me. You know that's good. So I ate it like a beggar on a bologna sandwich. I ate that chicken up. Yes, I did. And I ate my 3 pork chops and I was full. But I bypassed the peach cobbler. And I want applause. I deserve it. I'm going to pat myself on the back. Well done. Okay, good go. All right. Tomorrow's a new day. Every day is a new day. You wake up. God gave you air in your lungs. He gave you lungs to breathe, and he put a purpose for that day. Robert Bubba Baker, my friend, how are you? I'm doing well. How are you doing? I'm so happy to see your videos and how you're progressing on your lifting there, Bubba. And I listen to it. And just so everybody knows, I'm retired, so I have time. And if I watch your video and I push the like button, I watch the whole thing, and I do try to take notes while it's on, and so I can respond. Because if you take the time to cover it, I should take the time to reply better than just a great video. Not that everybody can do that, and I understand it, but since I can, I think I should. So, Bubba, I love your video today where you're talking about your strength gains, how your tendons are stronger, how you're lifting more in the same period of time. I know you use a lot of periodization. That's a tough word. Yeah. Okay, Elliot, non-scale, my babies are kind of, oh, that's awesome. Huge sugar crash. Oh, that is so good. That is so incredibly important. I could go on about that forever. Oh, you gave her there you go. Hey, you know what I do, Susan? in most Mexican restaurants around here, you can order a la carte the fajita chicken, the fajita beef, and or shrimp. So I'll go a la carte on the scrimps, beef, and chicken. That's a great deal right there. So I'm doing good. Great workout today. That's awesome. I can actually tell it now, Bubba. I can tell it in your face. I'm starting to see um, more of a. I want to be honest without fluffing, but not rude. A cragginess, is that the right word? You're starting to have features to your face that show that subcutaneous layer of adipose tissue is shrinking. And you said you're down to hat size. And you're the only other person than myself that can talk about head and hat size and have, because that's an awesome, to lose weight on your head. I mean, come on. We all talk about your mental acuity, but we don't know that, you get all that extra fat. And then I can see some veins on my head sometimes and wrinkles. And yeah, it's kind of cool. I know I'm not getting any Botox. All right, Linda says, ouch, I feel that. Hubby made dinner today. I'm still all swollen. Yeah, it's situational. You got to take your wins where you can get them. And when you can't get them, you make lemonade. Yeah, I know you do, Susan. I appreciate that comments I get. Hey, it's Woodster listening in, cooking some dinner finally. Well, all right, buddy. Hey, when you get a chance, Woodster, first of all, I noticed your hours went up a bit by 30. I noticed mine did too. And oh, by the way, everybody, Woodster did go over 1,000 last night, so congratulations. But when you get a chance, let us know what your watch hours are doing, okay, buddy? And did the person who won the air fryer get a hold of you? It's another thing. Inquire your minds. They want to know. Good on you. Cook that food. I'm sorry you guys are having flare-ups. Yeah. But a flare-up actually could be a good thing if you think about it. There was a time you didn't know the difference between a seed oil flare-up and a non-seed oil condition. So just now that we can even tell the difference. I mean, I was talking to a man today. I go to the plasma center here in town, and I, quote unquote, donate my plasma. Yes, I do. Right there now today, you can still see a little tiny spot where they stuck that big old needle in my arm. Anyway, I donate my plasma for money. I don't know how they call it a donation, except they make a lot more money off the byproducts, but it helps people. I have a couple friends with leukemia and blood disorders, so I'm doing my part, right? Anyway, I'm there, and this guy's talking about he had a young man who had a real severe alcohol problem. He's in remission from his alcohol problem. He talked about the withdrawals. And he said there was a time he didn't know and wasn't fazed by the amount of alcohol he consumed. And he's a father and has children. He's aware of it now, praise be to God. But, it takes a while for your body to realize what is a healthful situation and a non-healthful. So maybe we don't put the seed oil thing in a totally horrible category, even though it's a horrible food. I'm not saying it isn't horrible, but just the fact that we know the difference, that's something to be happy about in my book. Yeah, what are you cooking? Okay, yeah, it's slow, but it's time to pick up and go, Bubba, go. All right, what do you say? Yes, lady did claim her the air fryer. Amen. I'll be shipping to her soon, cooking some basic ground beef. All right, you check your hours. You let us know it, Oh, congrats. I got over time. All right, good, Ellie. I'm glad. I am. And you had 616 hours. Well, we're just going to have to go do us a little bit of a looper watching tonight, Miss Ellie. Yes, we will. We're going to find a play. If you got a playlist, I'm probably going to have to hit the play. I may not stick around for every video, but I won't be pushing the like or making comments. You'll never know. I might just find one and push the old like button. Love helping people get ahead in life. There you go. I noticed everything. I've been off of cheese and dairy 2 weeks, and then I go eat cheese tonight. Yeah. But we've been saying it now for about a week. There are no food Nazis in the carnivore world. We're all adults. And if you're an adult and you end up being out at a Mexican restaurant, you're doing that cheese and you're dipping your meat in the cheese, so be it. You know, if you want to go out there and have a chalupa, so be it. If you want to go ahead and have something else, you know, you want some cabbage or you want some carrots or whatever it is, if you want a biscuit with your brisket, so be it. Yeah, okay. Need to finish checking out. I missed Worcester Super YouTube and being difficult about some of my channel. Yeah, you know, people be using that YouTube. There'll be a lot going on. It's sometimes you just have to type a name in and just go to it, right? Oh, I don't know who you're saying. Sweet. Oh, you know what? Carnivores are sweet. You know why? Because we don't eat sugar all the time. So I'm not quite as salty and crusty as someone might think for a man of my age. That's right. Limitless. What you got up in here? You hit 700 subs? Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. And I'm sure you're going to be on. Did I see your name on the list for the 24-hour carnathon that Carrie's having on the 16th? Because if you're on that carnathon, you're going to pop over 1,000 easy peasy, lemon squeezy. That's right. 448 watch hours. And last time I wrote it down, we had 441. Something is not right. I think that your hours are lagging. We're going to have to do something about that, buddy. I don't get it. All right, make a playlist. Well, you know, whatever you want to do. We can just go in and watch one. You know, I think one of the great things. Now, how many of you, if y'all can, if you have time, if you want to spam an answer to my comments question, the comments area, right? Spam a 1, right? If you have a playlist. No. Spam a 1 if you're following and are watching. Oh, no, I know it. Spam a 1 if you have any videos over 30 minutes long on your channel. Shelly's Life, ladies and gentlemen, let me take a moment here to introduce you to Shelly's Life 365, Mon Shelly. Anyway, hey, I'm glad you caught me awesome. You're like, you know, I've seen your picture, I've heard your voice, but I've never interacted with you. Shelly's Life is awesome. She has a tremendous story. She is wonderfully gifted in the way she presents her information. And hey, you know, I'm tickled pink you made it. That's awesome. Welcome into the after party, Shelly. Thank you so much for coming by. If you all don't know, and if you want to, put your channel name in the chat, and I'll be totally happy. You make that. Oh yeah, you need to make that how to 3D print video. Yep. Well, he did one last night, Lindy. When he was on the live, he did it, so you can watch him on that one. No, I'm not awesome. I'm just an old boy sitting out here trying to have some fun. Life is good. Life is good. All right. Now, what do we got down here? Nourishment. I have 2 videos. Okay, great. Because you know, if you did all of you know Bill Knott? Shelly. Do you know Bill Knott from Alaska? Or have you watched the Bill Knott phenomenon? All right, I have a 34-minute video. All right, so that's what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, thank you, Shelly. Yes. So Bill Knott, through the grace of God, and with the evangelistic efforts of Carrie at Homestead How, right, blows past 1,000 subscribers in about, I don't know what, 15 seconds. He booyah, there it was. Then he puts up the 41-minute video, and he blows by the 4,000 hour inside of like a day and a half. YouTube people got to be going, wow, right? So the dealio is, I think we could learn something by that, by having a 41-minute video. And while we're doing other things, we could play that. And if we play a long one, and we actually, now I'm sure you guys are all smart and you all know everything, right? Okay. Is the algorithm, good old Al Gore in his rhythm section, right? Algorithm looks for people who are watching, people who are interacting, people who like, share, and comment, and watch all the commercials and not skip ads, right? So if you go and you watch somebody who has a 30, 41, or like one of my lives, which is 2 hours long, and every once in a while you come back, you put a comment, you got to like, maybe share, right? All that time spills into the channel. And conversely, as I do it for yours, it spills into your channel. I think that's killer. Yes, of course you love Bill. Even communists love Bill. Heck, I think there's somebody in Afghanistan that loves Bill. You can't look at the guy and go, I don't love that guy. And I love to watch him beating the bag, you know. I love to watch him playing with the kitty cat, right? I love to watch him as he's lit up talking about things. Then he looks off, and you just know his mind is racing. And he finally, in his last video, 1.6K, is that hours? Yes. Well, so you're almost halfway to your watch hours, Lindy, to get monetized. And it has to be within 365 days, too. Most people forget that. That window keeps moving. Boom, 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 boom. So if you have a video that got you 1,000 hours, but it was 364 days ago, day after tomorrow, those numbers don't count towards your 1 year aggregate watch hours. And that's where we help each other, right? Yeah. All right. The longer video is better for adding, that's for sure. Hence the hour and a half, 2 hour after parties. Just saying. Anyhow, yes, Linda. I prefer 30-minute or more videos. I watch rather than listen. Yes, that's right. Okay, you play games there. What games do you play? There you go. How many hours am I at? Gosh darn it. I knew you'd go and do something like that to me. That's okay. I can do it. I'll pull up on my little phone. And my little phony that goes with my little armies. That was kind of funny. You probably had to be there, okay? Let's see what it says. Survey says, I don't have that turned on. So, survey says, we're going to get to that. Howdy, meat eaters. Hello, Renee. How are you? Welcome back to the after party. All the cool kids are hanging out here. We're just kind of, what? Oh, technology. Okay. All right. Well, so it looks like I'm at 448 watch hours. So I'll type it in. 448 hours with 276 subs. There you go. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Yeah. Now look, I just started 50 days ago. 50 days ago, I was a veritable unknown. Nobody knew me. Nobody knows the trouble I have seen. No. Anyway, that's why I'm not in choir. But we're working on it one day at a time. We're going to get there, you know. And I got to be honest with you. About a week, do the lives count? Heck yeah, lives count. Lives really count. And so we do what we can, right? And the thing is, I obviously don't have a problem speaking. My problem's more about getting me to shut up. Matter of fact, when I was in office, people used to come up all the time and they ask questions like, will you come speak at this event? Or can we, they call my office and say, can we get him to speak here? And can we get him to speak there? My office knew only if you know how to make him shut up, because he'll go. He's like a Cupid doll with the cords in front. Just keep pulling and maybe y'all don't remember the dolls like that. But for some of you who do, that's me. I love the chitty chat. That's good. Yeah, they are helping. But for me, I have to be honest with you. I would much rather not be focused on that and just do this. You know, I'd rather do this 4 or 5 days a week, go out and watch your stuff, go out to like JT's. I'm gonna get interviewed, by the way, next month. Oh no, later this month, 2 weeks. JT's gonna interview me. He's the first interview I have granted, and I have to send him a picture. And if you notice, wait a minute, why didn't my? Oh, I gotta change my picture on this. But I did change my picture on my YouTube page. I actually have light now. I'll change the one here too. Yeah. Okay, let's go. Shelly says, the same problem. Hey, look, you get the gift of gab, you give the gift of gab. Now, Shelly, I want to ask you a question. I'm going to ask this in a very poor way. Well, parlez-vous français? Talk to me. Talk to me. Because I'm thinking you probably parlez-vous another language other than the good old English, right? That's right. I love it when people are multilingual. I used to be multilingual, but I went to the dentist and he pulled both of them, and now I'm just monolingual. But there's a rim shot somewhere. Somebody missed it. I appreciate that. Thank you, Ellie, for that little bit of humor right there. I'm a humorous guy. So look, I'm gonna do this one more time. There it is. There's the link. If somebody wants to take the link I just posted, a little Italian and a little Arabic. No, so don't be sorry. There's nothing to be sorry about. I just somehow thought maybe your diction and your accent seemed to suggest that you had been raised around some foreign languages. But I could be wrong. It could be that your elocution is the result of your matriculation from a finer society. or maybe not. I'm trying to learn how to speak Southern. It's not working out so well. I grew up with a hearing problem and have a bilateral lisp. So for the longest time, people thought I was from somewhere up in the Northeast. And I used to joke that my mom and I went through years and years and years of speech therapy. And I think my mom and dad were gypped because the speech therapist must have been from New England or New York. And, well, there you go. But that's just me trying to be funny again. All right, a little Italian. Okay, I lived in Italy for 8 years, was an English teacher. So you know all about those dangling participles and adjectives and adverbs and nouns. I had 20 years in the United States military, and we don't really find much need for those things. We just speak in bullet statements. We tend to leave out nouns and adjectives. All right, Elliot, I would, but I probably will need to go to bed soon. I'm partying a little too hard, 10:30 p.m. Hey, look, I get it. I don't want to be corrupting anybody's lifestyle. I just come in. A lot of nights I'd be in a little earlier, but JT had such a fantastic thing going on. I don't want to step on toes. And so I let JT roll with it for a minute. And again, most of the times until something changes, Monday through Thursday night, somewhere around 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, after party at Scotty's, we'll do the gathering. We'll hang out. We'll discuss some things, right? And then we'll figure out what works. All right, let's go. Shelley says, "Oh, you studied pronunciation and linguistics." Yes, I studied voice and articulation and had to learn a little shorthand because I wanted to be a thespian. And I did a little acting, did some stage. I did some musical stage type stuff when I was young. And then as I got old, I just moved on into some movie business. I did some movies when I was younger, and then just bit pieces and extra stand-in and stunts. And I went through the military, got out, said, "Hey, I want to be an actor." And I went ahead and I did the actor thing for a little bit and did some stuff in Atlanta, the ATL. And then I did some I did a web series for about 4.5, 5 years. And I think the acting bug is done. Yes, I think I'm done with that. But I had to take that voice and articulation Oh, teaching English. That's great. That's awesome. I'd love to learn it one day. All right. Coolio, Miss Ellie. Well, you do what you got to do. You got to be you. Only you can be you. My voice. Thank you. Too kind. I think my voice, I've been told I sound like a goat being kicked. Why do people kick goats? Why would they know what that sounds like? I mean, if you said I sound like a bagpipe being run over by a herd of goats, I'd be like, okay. But why do people kick goats? Okay. I wish my freezer was that organized, Elliot. I need to rewatch that one with the audio later. Oh, are we organizing things? Isn't there a book that came out a couple of years ago where this lady from, I want to say Japan, don't call me wrong, could be another Asian country, and she's all about neatifying your life? I tried that once. It wasn't very kind. I had to carry many clothes out of my closet. I still have many clothes. I'm not a neat freak. No, I am not. Anyhow, I don't think so at all. It's very nice here, but that was super funny. What? Who you calling funny, nerf herder? No. Anyhow, so I did actually have a couple topics tonight for my esteemed audience. And here's a question for you. Are any of you traveling to events? We heard about the keto cruise tonight. I know there's a meetup somewhere in South Carolina, Georgia later this year. There are meetups up near Chicago. Do you all travel? Would you travel? Could you travel? Should you travel on a horse? But of course, with green eggs and ham, Sam I am. Marie Kondo. Oh, yes, Kondo, yes, you're a minimalist. I'm a slob, I'm a minimalist. I'm missing the connection. So, do you see the minimalist carnivore? Chad? He may come in tonight. The Chadster, minimalist carnivore? If you don't, you should. He's awesome. He's an awesome guy. Maybe not a slob, but, here's what I'm good at. I love to do dishes. I'll hand wash every dish in the house every day. I love washing dishes. All right. I'll cook. I'll do the laundry. I'll fold the laundry. I doubt that I'll put it away though. So I'll cook, do the dishes, do the laundry, make the bed, and I'll mop the floor, but I won't sweep it. I'll vacuum. I don't do windows. Sorry, not going to do it. But I like to do it. I kind of did the death clean thing and cried all the way to. I know. I've got some shirts that I'm glad I didn't let go. This is one of them. It's a 3XL. I have to have really long shirts. I have a really long body. It used to be a really long fat body, but now it's a really long lumpy body. I love my lumpy body. Oh, you can go to the U.S. next year. Oh, that'd be awesome. I'll be so excited to hear about it there, Lindy. Be a long plane ride, girlfriend. I'm just telling you. You need to pack yourself a nice pillow. No, not traveling, but I live in Canada. Okay, so wait a minute. Okay, hold on. That's why I want to ask you. What province? Are you in Ontario or Quebec? I'm going to go Ontario or Quebec. I'm not positive which province you're in. Woodster says, when Carrie does a big meetup, I would like to drive from Wyoming. Carrie's maybe will bring so many out. Well, Woodster, I tell you what, I've got a son that lives in South Dakota, not too far from, Rapid City, South Dakota. Maybe I'll let you know. Maybe we could find a way to drive 4 hours, maybe. I don't know how far it is to the Nebraska border for you. Probably a long way. That's probably a harebrained idea. And I was within 70 miles of Carrie this summer. Didn't know him from a hole in the ground because I wasn't anywhere in the carnivore universe at that time. But my cousin lives not too far, and I want to go back up there. So I think I'm going to do a JT and swing through one time. I will. I do it all, but I found decluttering my possessions takes so much. Yeah, I get that. I'm just not good at it. If you look at, well, you can't see, but like last night, I discussed about my hobby making wooden spoons and spatulas, and they're still right here on my desk, along with all my other piles. I even have this. Are y'all familiar with this? Cacao butter. That stuff. If you remember from my last from the JT thing, I'm talking about C18 stearic acid. Highest concentration of stearic acid naturally is in cacao butter, right? And yeah, I know it's plant derived. Sue me, but this is what the studies have shown, that stearic acid has a direct impact on your mitochondrial function and it improves it. Matter of fact, it's so important, stearic acid, that there are actually receptors for stearic acid. It's amazing stuff. Oh, you live in Alberta. All right, you're just a little further over because it's British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan. So you're like over Montana area. Woo, that is cold territory. About 5 hours, depending on where she is in the territory. Oh, it's only 5 hours? Well, we can figure something out. We'll figure out something maybe. You never know. But good guess. I'm really from New Brunswick. I know New Brunswick. I was up to New Brunswick. Your country, Canada, invited me up for a soiree. The premier there and all them people, they invited me up. I was a state senator in Nebraska, and they picked me. I was like, pick me. And they took me on a tour of central to eastern Canada. So we went to New Brunswick. I was up at the Bay of Fundy. Beautiful place. If none of you have been to the Bay of Fundy in St. John, not St. John's, in St. John, I was told to be very clear about that. But it was beautiful up there. Went there in the dead of summer, and in Nebraska when I left, it was 104 degrees. And I got up to the Bay of Fundy, and it was beautiful. Hey, we got Robert Bubba Baker checking in. I'm gonna share the stage. There he is, man, the myth, the legend. There you go. Linda, my parents were hoarders. It's pretty hard for me to talk. Yeah, I get it. My dad is too, and I'm trying to help him declutter, catch up. Those spoons are beautiful. Oh, you like to paint? My wife paints. If you can't tell, there's a picture right here. I don't know if you can see it. A picture right there. My wife painted it for me. The one there you go. It's a wave with a staircase and trees, and oh yeah, she's a phenomenal artist. Yeah, in my book. She made. Everybody has a different opinion. Oh, Miramichi, New Brunswick. Okay, I don't know Miramichi, but I once knew a Tamaguchi. And I knew another guy real close to that. But anyhow, how you doing, Bubba? What's going on with you, brother, man? Your turn, Bubba. Hello?
Doing good. Is there a delay again this time?
Huh, I'm not hearing you, but it could be my problem, not yours. Stand by.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Try it again, Bubba. Can everybody else hear Bubba?
Hello?
I know what the problem is. I think I have you loud and clear now, my friend. I turned my gain down a little bit.
Okay, is that good?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear. It's just a user error on my end. I've been playing with my audio, doing some other things,
I can't
and
hear you.
well, I don't know why you can't hear me. Can anybody else hear me? Bueller, Bueller. Can anybody else hear me? We've got, you can hear him, I can hear him, I can hear Bubba. He has a delay. Well, yeah, that happens. He's up there in British Columbia, so we expect delays from British Columbia. Can anybody hear me? Bueller? Bueller? Oh, thank you, Shelly. See, Shelly's cool because she's in Alberta. Okay, somebody's echoing. Let me make sure it's not me echoing. I might have way too many things open. So stand by for news.
Yeah, there's a
That's
definite delay here.
Oh, I know there's a delay. Let me see. And I can, okay, so not coming from, I don't think it's coming from me, but okay, I am Lima Charlie. Do you have two browsers open? One to watch yourself on and one to watch on there, Bubba? Making sure we got everything closed off. I think I do. Hope it works.
Here, just a sec. Is that better?
Yes.
I can't hear nothing.
Well, I'm not talking. That's why. I can talk some more. Well, I tell you what. While we are waiting for Bubba's audio to catch up with us, and sometimes that happens. Sometimes
I know.
when
I
people,
was just sent a message to, and I can't hear you. Not, I can't hear you at all now.
ah, okay. So what's the? And let me put this on the screen. Just keep StreamYard open. Close YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube is closed.
Huh? Well, I don't know. Hmm. Techno. If you want to, I'm not telling you to, but it's an
I'll X
opportunity.
out and I'll come back.
Yeah. Why'd you reset and come back? I'll be here. I promise. And look at that, just like that. Now, one of the things I'm noticing as I have the headphones in, it seems like I do have a bit of an echo. Maybe I can turn my gain down a little. Oh, I know what. Let me see. Hold on. There we go. Let me do that. Oh, that's so much better for me. I had my gain up on my mic. I have one of these fancy, schmancy Stream Deck mics, and or I think it's Stream Deck, and it's smarter than me, and that's always problematic. Okay, hey, don't ever be sorry about going to cook a steak. It's your dinner. For crying out loud. Cook it. Enjoy it. That's what you're supposed to do. But when you get it back, when you get a chance, Shelly, here's something I'd like for you to think about discussing in your future videos. And I'd like everybody else to talk about, okay? And this is it. We don't talk about this much, and I know the men don't, but can you all talk a little bit about hormonal changes? I mean, let's be honest. When you're on a low fat diet or the SAD diet with bad fats, your hormonal um, uh, condition is compromised because you're not getting the right types of fats. And good 50% of your hormones, as I've read, have their backbone and their genesis in cholesterol. So my question is, I don't see a lot of talk from the individual. We talk about feeling better, better mood, but let's talk about hormones. All right. That's really, I think, something that we haven't talked about. I'd like to make the headphones clicked on StreamYard. Yeah. Yep. No, Shelly, thank you. You take care. God bless. And we'll see you around the neighborhood. I try to do this every Monday through Thursday at about 8:30, 9 o'clock Central Time to about 11 o'clock Central Time. Again, I shut it down at that time. But you come back. Y'all come back now. You hear? All right. Yeah, what's a good idea, Shelly? Yes, that would be. It would be great. Well, I understand that, but hormones are more than our reproductive hormones. Are huge. Don't get me wrong, but hormones are prevalent through everything. If we're going to have a weight issue or a thyroid issue, right? All right. I'm happy you caught me. You take care now and enjoy your dinner. And well, like I said, we'll see you around the neighborhood. Same bat channel, same bat time. Yeah, yeah, thyroid, and that's why I put some Lugol's iodine in water at least once a week. Yep. Um, But cholesterol is so important for our well-being. And I'm just talking to my friends now. I got a lot of senior friends um, that they have paper thin skin. I mean, they look ripped. They look like they're bodybuilders. They have such great vascularity, and they have no subcutaneous fatty deposits. But they're taking statins, which interrupt the whole cholesterol chain of events, and all those downstream cascading things that depend on cholesterol that is broke. So now their skin tears and they bruise. And I'm thinking, ixnay on the statin age. Now, I'm not a doctor, but come on. When I lived in Germany, the old folks I saw there, they were tough. Now, were they sexy? No. But they didn't have their skin tear 4 inches down their arm when they rubbed up against the table either. And they were buck wild, strong. I mean, we're talking like strong. You know, they embarrassed me. They could pick up heavy things. So I think that the issue is you have a lot to say about it. Well, I want to hear it. I want to hear it. So I don't think I understand my hormones. Well, look, Woodster, I am so glad you are here. Because here's what I want to say. I'm not trying to be obtuse or difficult, right? But about, I don't know what year this is anymore. In about 2015, 2014, 2015, I started noticing I was more emotionally compromised than normal. I noticed a few other things, and I am very intrigued by medical conditions. So I started doing a little looking around, and you know what I came up with? I thought, let's see, I'm about the right age, 50 plus. Maybe I have low T. Maybe my testosterone isn't right. Now, look, I like to consider myself as manly as any other man. But the way you measure manhood or personhood might not be the end all to be all. So I went to my doc and I said, Doc, because my doctor's a doc. And I said, hey, Doc, I need you to do me a favor. I need one whiskey, one beer, and one. No, I said, I need to get a test. I think I may be a little low on the testosterone. And the doc said, tell you what we'll do. We're going to run all these blood tests. And they did. And I was driving home. And as I drove home, I got a call from the doctor's nurse. And the doctor's nurse said, Mr. Scotty, where are you? I said, well, I'm driving home. And they said, well, can you come back to the hospital? I said, why would I come back to the hospital? She said, because you need testosterone now. I was like, are you kidding me? As I did a U-turn. I went back to the doc, and they gave me topical, rub it on, a testosterone. So I started my treatments, and for a guy my age, should be around 300 maboobity per maboobity deciliter, right? You know the way they measure stuff. So I says to myself, okay, maybe this explains some of my condition. Now here's the problem. When you do an exogenous product, right? Well, you need to do your test. Yeah, you need to do your to test your testosterone even now. You could do that, but because it'd be good. So yeah, it drops the T. That's right. So what happened was, I started doing the test. My doctor said, "Look, we're going to check you out. We're going to dial it up now. We're going to get 2 pumps a day, or we're going to get 4 pumps in a day." You can't put it all over. You can't put it in certain areas. You cannot put it on your gonads. You can't put it, in certain areas where it's very absorbative. The certain skin areas will absorb things much better than others. Also, you got to be very careful that you don't give it to other people by secondary things. Like, don't put it on your neck and then give your grandchild rides on your neck. Don't put it on your body right before you go swimming in your swimming pool. I mean, there are some things. It's a potent thing. So I started this and they measured it. And now I'm going to sneeze. Stand by. That was rude and I apologize. So anyhow, I started my testosterone replacement. We found the right thing to get me up around 600. They wanted me over 300. That's the minimum. I want to go up to 1200. Come on, 300 is good. Maybe I can get 6, 7, 800, 900, 1,000. I'll be better. I'll be like, right? Well, that's not how it works. So when you take exogenous type stuff, your body says, hey, I used to make that, but now you giving it to me for free. They were giving it to me for free. I ain't making it no more. Now, I'm going to try to be discreet here. And I wonder if this works in the pancreas for all those people taking insulin. Maybe your pancreas works and your beta islet cells are working and making insulin, but they can't make enough. So then you say, I eat a great big meal and I pick up my roll of belly fat and I pop my injector in, I get some long acting and short acting insulin popped into me, and I'm good to go. And your body says, I don't want to make it anymore. And now you're dependent on that externally applied hormone. I wonder if the same thing happens to the thyroid or the adrenals. Or what about adipose tissue that makes the ghrelin or the leptin, right? See what happens here? You start adding it in from the outside and it start coming at your body. Your body is very adaptive and your body says, fine, I won't make it anymore. You're going to give it to me? I'm not making it. Your body tries to conserve. So now I'm on this externally applied testosterone. I could go on the economy and get them to put pellets in my hip. No. So then I do this for a couple of years. And I got my testosterone levels up probably 900-ish. Pretty high for a guy over 50. I did not change anything in my life. Like you said, the SAD diet, right? I am still inputting or affecting, whichever way, affecting, I think is the proper one, affecting my overall health by what I am doing in the SAD way, not exercising, high stress. But now I've gone and just added one ingredient in. So what happens? The glands that make the testosterone decided to give up the ghost and move out of town. That ain't too cool for a guy. I'm just telling you. That ain't cool. All right? I think women would look at it this way. When women lose a lot of weight quickly, they tend, not always, they tend to lose it in their upper torso region. Being delicate here, being delicate. And with that change of weight in the upper torso mammalian area, there is a definite change in the physiological appearance, which may not necessarily make a person feel very confident about themselves. Now, look, we don't go around, no one in here goes around showing all that. I get that. But we still do live with ourselves. And if we're going to be honest, it's unnerving. I know of a lady who lost a lot of weight, and she said she resented losing the weight because now, while she was healthy, she didn't appreciate the way her body looked, and she didn't wait for autophagy to come in and take care of it. She wasn't considering, nor could she afford skin removal surgery. So she had a lot of skin, and she did not feel as confident about her body that was healthy in a high skin fold environment as she did when she was morbidly obese, right? Excuse me. Wow. Dyslexic tongue there. So I decided to do myself a favor. I stopped doing the testosterone. Things were not so good, not so bad. I started this carnivore way of life. And my wife will say, and she would come on here if she were awake. Everything works just fine. And I'm just as aggressive as I was when my testosterone from an external application was about 900. I was very aggressive. I mean, not like mean and grabbing people. I've never been that way. But I was more aggressive in my driving. I was more risky. Now, look, I'm a stick in the mud. Matter of fact, if you've been here around a while, you know this is my stick. I found a log. It had a little, I picked it up, looked over, and it had a baby. There was a stick under the log. And I picked up that baby stick. It's still a baby today. So I'm a stick in the mud. I'm about as I don't want to say traditional, but I'm just about as the same as it ever was. The same as it ever was. And so to see my demeanor change like that, and to see, you know, if you don't lift weights, your muscles don't necessarily, like people will say, well, I turned my body fat into muscle, or my muscle turned into fat. That is not an accurate statement as far as I know. What happens is your fat cells lose volume and they shrink. And your lean tissue mass cells will either revolumize, or if you do enough work and tearing, they'll grow. You'll have some hypertrophy, right? You know that word I'm trying to say, right? So what am I saying here is, I think the glands responsible for the production of testosterone that was no longer coming on board, they went back into full-time production. So I called my doctor today, and I'm gonna go get that tested. That was you. I have a lot of loose skin, but I would never go back. I would never look like Barbie. You know what? And see, Lindy, these are the conversations I think we need to have in this community, because let's face it, when we're successful in doing what we do, that's the reality. So the question becomes, for this lady who decided that she didn't like losing the weight, perhaps her mental objectives were skewed. Does that make sense? I have no idea how I could ever say I would rather be grossly and morbidly obese than to have skin folds. Now, I can tell you my big push for losing weight was my belly hurt leaning over the belt loops, right? A belt buckle. So I want to check this out real quick. I put my sky. Yep. All right. Something is wrong with the computer. Okay. No problem. Don't worry about it. This is a non-apology zone. A non-apology zone there, Bubba. We just do what we can, right? Renee, I figure I have a scanner. Yep. Well, for me, it's good. I do too. I will definitely share. I'm already into this a whole bunch. I'll finish it. Frank says she's having just never. Yeah. Well, that's what happens. And so here's the thing. How do we? Well, first of all, there's no we and I, right? The work has to be done inside of me. Given that and understanding that, what do you suppose is our role in supporting people to say, if they had a, what they call it, body dysmorphic type thing, like a person who's anorexic really doesn't like the way their body looks, even though they don't really see it like we do. how do we reinforce? How do we stand with people to be with them during this trying time? I mean, Lindy, what are words? What are actions that we can do? When they first tested my testosterone, it was around 270 or 170. Was it even that high? Maybe 170. Yeah, it was really low. Could even been low. I'll look it up. I have all the records. I just have to go back and dig them up. Um, but what are the words we use to encourage someone? And ladies, I have to ask you because you have more immediate physiological response to a loss of body fat than many men do because we carry more lean tissue mass. So I don't know. I want to know the right words. I want to know the right attitude to have. Does that make any sense? So that's what I'm asking. Linda says, if you care about it, then try fast. Yep. So, okay. So again, I love reading stuff. So I read a lot of stuff. So when we are told that we're supposed to have, and according to the SAD, I know that's different, but this is a baseline, right? Women should basically have 60 to 70 grams of protein a day. Well, that's 60 or 70 exogenous grams of protein. In your body every day, on or about every day, you have 300 grams of protein turnover. So it's about a pound of meat to get 100 grams of protein, generally speaking. Chicken might have a little more, okay? Just generally, work with me. Your body is turning over 300 grams a day. Where's that coming from? Well, it's coming from autophagy, apoptosis, that's the scheduled cellular death. As you all probably know because you've read and you've heard and you're very astute, other than parts of your eyes, some nerves, and parts of your kidneys, maybe part of your heart, I won't hold on. Every cell in your body is new. These ears, I wasn't born with those ears. This nose, heck no, I wasn't born with it. The lining of your throat and your stomach every 3 days is new. The lining of your intestines in a couple of weeks is new. There's constantly things dying. And if you get a chance to go watch a video on autophagy and read about it. So what's happening is your body's turning over those 300 grams of protein, and your body's the ultimate recycler. But here's the problem. Your body can't make certain amino acids, hence why we have to have essential amino acids, hence why we need to eat, they say, about 100 grams of protein a day so we get those essential amino acids, which is only grams per day. All right? 12 different types of amino acids, and 4 or 5 of them are essential. Same thing with essential fatty acids. Your body can tear apart and recombine and reconfigure, and so many epigenetic things happen to make everything happen, but it needs certain things. That's why we have to eat, right? So when you give your body a chance to go into autophagy, it will go out there and grab the skin. So here's the thing for you, and I apologize. I don't want to be insensitive. But did you see a lot of loose skin folds on any POW or anybody that came out of the concentration camps? The body will go and take what it wants when it needs, when it's forced to do so. I'll just let that lay there. I apologize. All right. Okay, let me catch up on chat. I have friends. Yeah, very sad. That's right, Linda. And Limitless says fasting can only help. So I have accepted that, and that it will Limitless. And you know what? I think Dr. Barry said this a few weeks ago. We don't have enough information on how a body will respond on the proper human diet. We don't have decades of that information. We used to have information, but that information they weren't looking for. Think about it. 100 years ago, no one was thinking about the impacts of fake sugars. No one was looking at the impacts of seed oils because, and then therefore they weren't really looking at fats, and they weren't really looking at proteins either. The only thing they had were like the diabetes, and they used to call type 1 diabetes juvenile diabetes because a child would show up with it and then they would waste away and die until they found they could make insulin from pigs, right? And then they called it adult diabetes when you got type 2 diabetes later on in life because you couldn't control what you put in your pie hole. Modern science has proved it's diabetes, and one of them is you're born without the ability to make the insulin, or the other one is you break your insulin production centers by having too much of it, right? So we really don't have a very good body of evidence. And then you add to that the powerful forces that are out there that are saying we don't want studies done by independent agencies that don't have ties to big pharma, big ag, and no businesses and big business, the food industry. That's why this movie and documentary that Carrie's putting together is so important. You know, I remember, how many of y'all remember Atkins diet? Do y'all remember the Atkins diet? If you do, spam a 1. There was a low protein diet. There was actually a very high protein diet in the mid 70s that my mom lost a lot of weight. It was a liquid protein diet. And people were losing weight, right? And what you do is you get your bottle of protein. It was all liquid, super concentrated. There you go, Linda. There you go, lost weight. So here's what happened is people were losing weight hand over fist. Then they started dying. And here's what the problem was. They came with those little effervescent potassium pills. They'd be like lemon flavored or cherry flavored or like lime flavored potassium pills. And people wouldn't take the potassium. So they were having an electrolyte imbalance and having cardiac arrests. Or some would go into that rabbit syndrome, right? So we know that a higher protein diet works. The question was, and we've all heard it before about cholesterol and how Weston A. Price actually didn't tell the truth all about, was it Weston A. Price on the multi country study? And it was the senator from South Dakota who said he didn't have the time to wait for scientists because the guy who was in charge of the Food and Drug or USDA said that, and the chief scientist, medical officer said their recommendations for the food pyramid were not accurate. That matter of fact, what they were recommending for the food pyramid was exactly what they fed lab rats to make them fat. By the way, it's exactly what you feed cattle to fatten them and pigs to fatten them. Okay. But this senator from South Dakota said, well, I just don't have time to wait for science. We got people out of, and the whole thing was Dwight D. Eisenhower, good old Ike, had a massive heart attack. And they blamed his heart attack on his cholesterol intake because he ate a lot of red meat. They never mentioned that he smoked 3 packs of unfiltered Camel cigarettes a day. And the same people who did that, who fought the cholesterol wars fought the tobacco for cholesterol, those people got hired on into other industries to help the sugar industry and everything else. Yeah, it's a beautiful racket. Beautiful racket. Yeah. So we all know about it. Everybody did almost everything. And now here we are. Isn't it interesting? When we go full circle, we're back to eating what our great-grandparents did pretty much. Now, our great-grandparents could probably eat a lot more stuff that's off schedule because they didn't have a metabolic problem. They couldn't go get all this bad stuff in the turn of a moment, right? We can all stop somewhere to go get a burrito or a bucket of popcorn, low carbs. And now that I know a bit more about Eddie, I think I might go ahead and redo my story. All right, that'd be great. I'll be looking forward to it. When you do it, let us know. Renee, I have to leave. It's 4:30. Going to go. All right. Hey, you take care. Appreciate you. We'll be here on a regular basis. We appreciate everything you do too. Okay. We'll go back. We'll check things out. I've been on about an hour and 20. I'll probably run this for another 10, 15 minutes, and then I'll pop smoke too. But good night. You take care of yourself, Renee. Thank you again. Thank you very much for coming by and spending some time here. Perhaps 2 years. I'm afraid who won't watch anything longer than 10 minutes, but my preference is 30 minutes. Yeah, it can be like that. I know that they say there's an ideal length, like 12 minutes or something like that. 420, lost 150, Tuesday, I need 100 more. And if that's right. And you have to, Susan, you have to listen to your body too, don't you? You just have to sit there and say, today, this isn't the day. And other days you might say, you know what? I'll just do a little different, right? I mean, you really have to do that. It's just a fact of we are in charge. It is our ship. We are driving it. We are the ones who are responsible for it. We have been entrusted with it, and it's important that we do. We acknowledge that. Acknowledge it. Now, we don't have to be experts, do we? No. Isn't that great? Isn't it amazing that a night with 1 hour less sleep, a day with a potato or a tortilla or a slice of tomato isn't going to burn it all down? The real thing is we need to be consistent. And if our averages work, like when you do that intermittent fasting, right? When you average that your caloric intake is less over a period of time, and it just isn't calories. We don't have a calorie meter in our body, but it's what are the constituent substances of what we're ingesting, right? If I give you 2,000 calories of super sweet fruit to eat and meat deep fried in canola oil, will be completely different than if I give you fat calories and meat calories and the same caloric content. And we know that. So it's really about, what is that old adage? The devil's in the details. Isn't that how it works? 40 minutes long. That's cool. That's very good. I got to go make sure I catch that. I'm woefully behind on things. There's just so many good channels out there now. So many people putting things out. That's why I want this after party to be a place where you all can evangelize your message. You can post your channel page. And when you're up to it, like Lindy did the other night, Lindy came on board. Bubba Baker, Robert tried to do it this evening. I'm more than happy to let people come into the stream and share it with them. I don't have an agenda. I'm just trying to keep, 90 minutes of shucking and jiving and talking about things we may want to hear about. And if someone else comes on board, I can wet my whistle a little more often. It's great. Susan says, 5 year. Yep, it is. And I tell you, would you all agree that there could be a case made for us being on autopilot and being unaware, right? We weren't really aware of what was going on, either by omission or commission. Either I didn't want to be aware. Maybe I had a glimpse, but I was afraid of it. Maybe I was too busy raising children and making a living. And so with this awareness now, we are acutely aware that we really do have to be very careful with all the small things. What is it they say? You take care of the pennies and nickels and dimes and the dollars that take care of themselves, right? There you go. A lion don't get fat, doesn't worry about what they eat. They just eat with no thought. I think once we get this, yeah, we've got to fight so much of that programming, right? You got to eat a breakfast. You got to eat 3 times a day. Oh, you're exercising? You better eat 6 meals a day. Yeah, if you're jamming yourself full of 14 different types of steroids, have you all ever listened and read what the steroid regime is for these bodybuilders? They take steroids to get big. They take steroids to counteract the steroids. The men don't want to get breasts. The women don't want to have improper growths either. They take all sorts of steroids, and there's cycles of these steroids. So as they're doing, and a lot of these people are like super duper microbiologist chemists, it seems, right? I mean, they really are smart. I don't think it's smart to mess with your body, but it's your body, right? I'm not going to pass judgment. But eat till you're satiated and you'll be all right. But for those people who have a ghrelin and leptin problem, that advice is about as dumb as the day is long. Think about it. If your fat cells are telling your brain, I'm still hungry, or if your brain isn't getting the full brain saying, well, I gotta feed you. My job is to feed, just like in the hypothalamus or cerebellum is responsible for maintaining a body temperature, and it's going to do that all it can. If you get damage there, it's really problematic. Well, your body just responds to the inputs it's getting. And your mind has so much control over that through the reticular activation system. If you get bored tonight, you just Google the RAS, R-A-S, reticular activating system, and you'll learn so much you probably didn't quite realize about how you're manipulated, why things happen like they do. This whole RAS thing is your firewall for your brain. And most people don't know that they can control it. They can. But once you know that, then you're responsible for it, right? But anyhow, the long and short of it is, so there are times when things get so out of whack. I didn't know this till I did my own study and researching into it, that there are times when people really are held hostage to their hormones. And that's truth. Think about it. They say many, many times that if a woman is in her cycle and she has a really rough cycle, hormonally speaking, it's very plausible that she can be held not accountable for her actions because of the rage. Right? So if we'll believe that in one scenario, why wouldn't we believe that in all the rest? I mean, I'm just always amazed how we allow ourselves to be led down a path of knowledge in one area, and we forget to apply it to others. And you're right there, low carb. Yep. Okay, so I get tired of people saying I can't, whatever it may be. Well, I get it. I get that, Woodster, but I have learned in my 61 years that the first thing to realize is we don't know everything. And I know you know that. We aren't in their shoes. We don't know where they come from. We don't understand the I'll go with traumas that may have been in their lives. And that's why I think this community is real important, because I am sure Susan and Lisa and others on here can relate to things, and Linda and Renee, they can relate to things that you and I could never relate to as women. And then even amongst themselves, there'll be experiences they can relate to one or other that they couldn't to other women, just like you and I can as men to each other, but not maybe with in something because we're all unique and we're different. So I would say I would submit from an older man's perspective. As we are shown grace, showing grace to other people, not to be an excuse or a crutch, don't get me wrong. But for instance, okay, I did not know for the longest time. Okay, so my mother had an emotional, psychological problem, agoraphobia. She developed it late in life, and she couldn't leave the house. Right, very difficult thing. My mother, when I was young, she was the rock of our family. She was incredible. She was so good looking that my oldest brother's friends would come and knock on the door to date his older sister, my mother. Right. Um, my mom was an incredible person, an incredible artist. She had some things go kind of hinky, so I don't know these things. I don't know all these things when I'm a kid. I'm just mad at my mom for being the way she is at me. And I get older and things are becoming revealed to me. So my oldest brother was killed one day. He was 19. I think I was 14. And that rocked my mom's world, of course. First child is gone. But before that, my mom was an alcoholic, and I didn't know that. And then I didn't know that my grandfather, her father, was by all means abusive, not sexually or anything, but just a disciplinarian, extraordinary tough. So tough on his three daughters that when he came to school to pick them up one day, he used the pumice stone that was at the fountain because he caught them with makeup on, and he washed the makeup off their face with basically a pumice stone and lava soap in front of all their friends. All right. This is going to wig out a person. I don't care who you are. It's going to wig you out. Then she's an alcoholic. I didn't even know she had been married and divorced until I was well into the military. And then with the passing of my brother, she got agoraphobia. She ended up getting overweight. She ended up smoking a lot of cigarettes, drinking too heavy, and dead. She too ended up dead a number of years later. Now I'm still processing all this, and I'm still angry at her for all this stuff. But as an adult, now I realize what she went through. And so I think it makes it easier for everybody if we just take a breath and try to say, I understand, but everybody has a backstory. And if we don't qualify it, then maybe it's not so important. There are people actually can't do things. Yep, I agree. No. Your opinion counts. Don't get me wrong. You're absolutely right. I used to help the women. I used to work within the military. I'd take them over to the gym, and they all would think they can't lift weights. And they'd go to the gym with me, and I'd say, yeah, you can lift weights. And I would literally blindfold them. You know what the Smith leg press machine is? So you lay down on your back, kind of sitting up, and you're pushing your legs up, right? And then you just have to put the plates on, right? Well, I would blindfold them, and I put the plates and tell them to work. And then when afterwards got really, they really worked hard. I knew they worked hard. I had one young lady. She probably only weighed 115 pounds soaking wet. But I had about 335 pounds on that leg press machine, and she'd move it. And when I took the blindfold off her, she was flabbergasted because she never thought she could do it. She saw the big weights. She heard the grunting. I could never do it. And I said to her, look, if you walk upstairs, and she ran upstairs all the time, right? And a stair in an OSHA compliant building, we have an 8-inch riser. So on one leg, she was lifting her entire body weight. Maybe 115. On two legs, she should be able to do 230 pounds, no problem. So I agree with you. There are a lot of people who don't know that they can do it. And your age has almost no bearing on it other than, all wisdom is experience that you survive. I've survived 61 years. Everything I survived is not wisdom either. I have a lot of stupid things. So no, that has nothing to do with it. But I would say that all of us, I'm 61. I go out, hang out with a bunch of guys who are in their 70s and 80s. I'm a whippersnapper, and they do not hesitate to let me know. It always happens. You take that age thing and slide it up and slide it down. It's just a matter of people are tough nuts to crack, and sometimes, yeah, we try to crack it, and it doesn't yield. It doesn't yield really well to us. You know what I'm saying? Well, I think it's just my ramblings too. Mindset's so important, but at least trying. That's right. And hey, look. I've often said to many people in many venues and arrangements, shoot for the moon. If you don't make it, you'll still get pretty far because you've got a pretty good trajectory, right? Mindset powerful, still battle daily. Yes, that's right. Mindset is extraordinarily important. And if you do get in that habit, like you're saying there, what's about I can't. Again, a good point there, low carb. If you have you read up on the RAS, the reticular activation system? I'm pretty sure that's what it is. RAS, the RAS. What the RAS is, it's a part of your brain. It sits right here at the back on the top of your brainstem, about the size of your thumb, right? And what that does is it stops the billions and trillions of pieces of data coming in all your senses all the time from being registered by your mind. Otherwise, you'd go crazy. So the RAS sits there as a filter. And if I've said this before, and I apologize, but just for the general sake of things. Let's say you're going out to buy a car, and you decide, or truck, you want a truck. You want I'm gonna go with an F-150. You want the platinum package. You want the alloy big rims. You want it to be a pearl white color with a tan and black interior, right? I mean, you know everything you want on this, and you're shopping. You're going from one place to another place to get this truck. You've got your heart set on this truck. You've been out to Car and Driver. You've been out to all the different websites. You're looking online. You're looking for this truck. Maybe you want it to be a copper color, really beautiful copper color. I love copper. So then you finally go to a dealer. You make the deal. You haggle the deal, right? You get it all taken care of. You get the finance. You're driving off. You've got your beautiful truck. And the next thing you know, you see every copper truck on the road. And you're like, what in the heck is this? That's the reticular activating system. You spent so much time telling your brain it's important that it sees it now. Now, were those trucks out on the road before? Yeah. But you really didn't see it. That's why eyewitness testimony isn't really the best testimony there is. So the same thing applies. That's why I think when people do affirmations, I'm going to be good and I'm going to make a lot of money and everybody loves me, and I say it 9-10 times a day, eventually your brain says, yeah, you're good. Or it's that whole idea that you own your RAS. Now, your RAS has a lot of things that we taught, like don't touch an oven, don't step out in front of a car, don't do this, all your social cues, all those are if-then statements in your RAS. And it can only hold so much. You get to choose some of that programming. So if you're a negative Nelly and it's always raining on you, well, guess what? You're right. My brother, love my brother, strong believer, love my brother. But he got the little rain cloud that follows him everywhere he goes. Because he keeps speaking. Maybe that's what they say about speaking it into your life, right? Anyway, sorry about that. I love talking about those things. I have getting better at neuro issue, Adam, but sometimes I have a good day, some perfect health, bad days. That's right. I get it. That's the way it is. For the most part, age means low. That's right. You're absolutely right, Woods. There's no doubt. I'm guilty of it too. I've done a lot of things. I try to tell people life is really long. Oh, good point, Lindy. I try to tell people, especially when I used to have supervise young soldiers and young airmen, I would try to tell them that very much. The fact that I find a short amount of time after doing it, isn't that amazing? We spend all this time getting unhealthy, and 6 months to a year later, we're so much more healthy. Hello, Dawn. Oh, Dr. Chafee, I forgot. I'm sure I didn't hurt his viewership. Yeah, can't you see the resemblance between Dr. Chafee and I? Yes, I'm about ready to start cutting meat shirtless on video. No, I have to wear a hairnet. Whole body. Yep, yep. Well, I have to tell you, I know I wasted a lot of my life. I wasted a lot of my life in an alcoholic stupor too. Followed after my mom. Lucky enough, God reached out and grabbed me and said, "Stop it." And I said, "Okay." I've always tried to do my best, but naysayers, like I said, I'm making up. Well, you know what? What is that old saying about show me the people you hang out with and I'll show you who you're going to become? I mean, I don't know, but sometimes we have to make the hard choice to get different friends. Not that it's easy to do, but we've got our carnivore community, right? Young adults, yep, change your life. I know. I told Woodster from day one. I wish I was in his shoes. I do. I would have saved myself from so much trauma. Yeah, no. Truth logo. So impressive. Yeah, no, it's amazing. There you go. There's your answer. Yeah, I think we are a group of like-minded people in here, and boy, am I glad for that. But I want to make sure that you are crystal clear in understanding that my comments are nothing to do about age. It's just to do about um, well, I couldn't tell you the number of times someone misjudged me, right? And I thought that's not right, but it's human nature. I mean, we do a lot of things that are programmed into us. You know, what do they tell you? And I think we've talked about this before, but what do they tell you about when you walk into a room? Within how many seconds have you assessed a person as a friend or foe, like, non-like, friend or foe, danger, not danger? We do that all day long. Some people said, I think I've read up to 27,000 times a day we're doing that. Friend or foe, danger, no danger, friend or foe. And we're doing it with the people driving next to us. We're doing it with the people in our office. We're doing it with the people in the lunchroom, the people in the grocery store, the people at the ball field. Our brains are constantly going with that IFF, we call in the military, identify friend or foe, right? It's exhausting. And I don't know that we have to do it. But the amount of work it takes. I mean, so two things. When I was in the military, I ended up needing to get some professional emotional help, and even recently, a year or so ago, and there's no shame in that. It's just not easy, okay? But I had to get a professional to go. I mean, I wouldn't work on my own transmission, and I sure as heck wouldn't perform open heart surgery on myself. I remember I was going to my audiologist and we were talking about something. And I said, I think you do well to go talk to a mental health professional. Would you be open to that? I was like, of course I'd be open to doing that. So we did. And then when I was in the military, before I met my wife, I was in a relationship with a lady overseas, and she went off the deep end. And so in the process of her working through her processes, I was called in and I had to learn stuff I didn't know. And I was only 27. And I never even thought about people's hearts and feelings and minds and backgrounds and the things that create the conditions that a person is that you meet. You meet a person, and unless you lived with them in that town and you knew them really well, you just don't know the constituent factors that make that person when you meet them. And then you meet them in a lying environment like a bar. You're going to get tripped up. So that's where I get a little bit of understanding, because professionals told me. So there we are. Let's go. No. And I think you're right. I just retired. I was working at the Missile Defense Agency, and they were teaching us about the generational difference. And we had a professional come in, and the professional told us, all you boomers and all you other people, you're just like the people who you were mad at before, who didn't understand you, and now you're doing it to the next generation. Of course, we were like, pshaw, we know better. But no, they showed us the facts. And yes, some things are different, but there's a reason why. Again, getting to the why and giving it time to develop and understand. I think building relationships with people is an eternal skill, and it starts with compassion. I've got in a discussion on Dr. with Carrie. I think when I asked, he just said Manny Falk. Oh, yeah. I can see where that could be problematic. When I hear someone say millions and billions of years ago, we were, well, I think the discussion on time, I have discussions with people about maybe the book of Revelations, right? And I say, and this is my honest thing, right? I'm not a Bible scholar. But what I'll say is, I'm still trying to work on what I'm supposed to learn from the epistles and some of the Old Testament stuff. I'll worry about dotting the I's in Ezekiel or Daniel or Revelations after I've got, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John down. When I can give you 1st and 2nd Corinthians, good, right? And James and John and all those things. It's all so wonderful, and it's all a lot to absorb. I don't have the time as a 61-year-old to work on that when I'm still having a hard time loving my neighbor. They pointed out that an anatomy book written before the RC Church, okay, that's having the anatomy study who had done it Simpson age, and therefore we're wrong. Human to human, they aren't the same either. I just want to let you know. It's just a general rule of thumb. I get on bed a little bit. Yeah. What they call that? We used to say that you're a person with an old soul. Woodster, got a question for you. Are you the youngest child, or your parents much older than you? You said you're a PK. Talk to me about where you fall in the family. Oh, we have a timeline for sure. People don't, that's right. People don't know your story. And not all people need to know our story. I have a hard time with that one. Right. Designed to, exactly, Don. Exactly. So you're the youngest. Okay. So I would tell you that in family, that the course I took on people, the generational gaps, when we say a person has an old soul, it generally means that they are raised up by older people. It just tends to be a condition of the youngest child, oftentimes to be that, or if you have very much older siblings or older parents. Because like I used to say, I was 29 when I met my wife. We've been married 32 years. So, amen. She deserves a lot of praise for that. When you're 18 and you're busy with young children and you're busy trying to learn how to live life, your brain isn't even fully formed till you're in your mid-20s for a man. So your brain's not formed. You're trying to make a living. You've got all these maturation processes going on in you, literally. And now you've got a little person you're trying to grow up. Well, you have plenty of energy, but you pretty much lack a lot of resources in general. Then you have those people who wait till they're 42, 52, and they have a child, one child. They're almost at the end. They're in the highest earning years of their job. They can dote on the child and they can train and do things with the child. And they pour all their heart into the child. You get different conditions. Not that hard to figure out. I remember when I was in gym working before I got my new hip, that other did it so. That's right. You're right, Lisa. I know. People just don't know. 4 of us, 2 brothers and sister. I get you. Good on you. Nice sized family there, Woodster. Just keep studying every day. I have another channel. In my other channel, it's not fun like this. I read from my daily Bible every single day for this year. Well, I started on about the 8th of January, so I caught up on those days. But every day sends, and I read every day. Of course, today I read September's. You can see I have them all with little stickies. So tomorrow today we read for September 7th. We were in Daniel 7, and tomorrow when we read for the 8th, what do we read? I think we're going to change over a little bit tomorrow. I looked ahead a little bit. Sometimes I do that. Yeah, we're going to still be in Daniel. We'll be doing the Lion's Den. But if you haven't ever done this Bible, it's amazing. And then we get into 2 Chronicles and Ezra. And then on the 9th, we're going to be going in Ezra. And then on September 24th, we start the New Testament. But here's what I find amazing about doing this. And I recommend it to everybody, but not everybody needs to do it, right? Okay, I get it. What's the parents of my age? Sweet. Oldest sibling, 39. See, kind of makes sense there. Susan, second of 4. All right. Middle, okay. Middle is Susan, okay. Scotty P, that's right. And so this is what I know, which is a limited subset of almost any knowledge. I have read this Bible since a Bible most of my life, but I wasn't a believer until 1992. And then 1992, of course, as a new believer, I got all into it, and I would read, and I would be dutiful, right? And then I'd go to Sunday schools, and I would attend. I'd go to seminars, and I'd go to church, and I grew up in my maturity as a Christian, as you would hope. Now here we are, 30 plus years later, 31 years later, right? And this year I decided I would commit. My pastor says we should read the Bible every day, and I did. I've got another men's group, accountability group. We send texts to each other every day, and what happens? Each one of us take a week in the I might call it a digital pulpit, but we pick a topic each day, and then we all go find Bible verses that refer to that topic. We've been doing that for a couple of years. So 700 days plus of every day looking up for a topic in the Bible. So I'm reading, I'm getting exposed to it. But reading the scripture out loud, recording it, and then putting it up for the world to see, I am much more particular to read the words. And I don't always get them right. I don't pronounce them right. Sometimes I add a grammatical error to it because it's just the grammar is so different. But I remember a lot more. And this is just 1 year of doing it every day in a scheduled way. I can't imagine what it's going to be like in 5 or 6 years, because I'm going to do this every day for the rest of my life. And I still lead a men's group, and I'm still in that participation group, and I still do lots of things, but it's so much easier. And I pray before and after every day in that way, where I know people listening to me. It's very different. If you're doing a live, or if you're making a YouTube video, the pressure. And that pressure has really helped my growth, I think, in the Word. So you're absolutely right, Woodster. I did not have the advantage of growing up with her. I definitely had the advantage of knowing what not to do. But yeah, so there I am. So let me go. Parents were 36. Last baby. Lindy said, Mom had me at 20. I had my daughter 20, my daughter 32. Yep. Well, that is good. Oh, you broke the pattern. There you go. I'm oldest are 2.5 years. Okay. It's amazing how they can figure out the psychology and the dynamics of people by where you were born. I have read where they said your siblings have more of a long-term impact on your personality than even your parents. Yep, I would agree. Girl 12, second daughter 21. Oh, congratulations. Is she off your payroll yet? I got mine off my payroll. It was beautiful. I had 4 daughters. I was 22, 20, 21, and I had 3 kids there 40, 37, 33, 30. Nice, Susan. Yes, sometimes, yeah, both. I wanted 4. We had 4. A great blessing. Amen. Um, yeah, I can definitely vouch, though, that siblings have such a big impact. I remember my oldest brother, the one I mentioned that was killed when I was younger. Um, he was exceptionally mean to me. There's no no other way to say it. My brother was very hateful towards me. He beat me up a lot, badly, and he hated me. Now I got older and I realized what a snot-nosed little brother I was, and my mom particularly made him watch me a lot. And remember, I told him my mom was alcoholic, so we didn't know, right? And I remember growing up, and even after he was deceased, I regretted not being able to meet him as an adult male, because I definitely would have, if we got into a fisticuffs after all my military training and training on the side, I definitely would have. I'd have worn him out. I'd have taught him a little bit more respect. So that definitely had an impact on me. And my middle brother, I told you, he's a little sad sack, the most talented out of the 3 of us, smart, brilliant, talented, musically talented, can play the guitar. He doesn't own a spine, or he didn't own a spine for a long time. And then my youngest sister, it's great. But just the idea that your siblings do have a big role in some of your personality. My phone is going off like crazy, and it's all going into my hearing aids, and it's so distracting. I don't know who's trying to contact me at this time. It's 11 o'clock. Let me see. Stand by for news. What is going on? I'm getting lots of emails, and I don't want to. I have to turn that down. It's an amazing thing. I love my technology of my hearing aids, but at times they just drive me bonkers. There we go. Took care of you, buddy. See if you bother me anymore. Anyway, so let me get back. I apologize. I went off track there. The 21 work full time, still home though. Oh, well, my kids learned real quick. You didn't want me doing your laundry. My wife wants one more, but I don't know about that. 2 kids, age 3, was enough work for right now. Well, that is a lot of work. There's no doubt about it. We had 3. I think we would have liked to have 1 more. I do, but I was being sent all over the world in the military, and it wasn't a fun time. So that was a tough time. 3 years younger, we are not close. With sad me if I don't make contact. It would be probably we'd have to. Yeah, I get it. It's just, I think society has been forced into changes in such a rapid state because of technology that we don't recognize the impacts it's having on personal relationship. John was so married. We had a young son when he turned 40, so she was 30. Hey, come here. Dogs get upset. Come here. Come here. I might have to deal with them just a second. Let's see. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you sure do. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. Hey, you know what? We're coming up to 2 hours, and my dog's getting restless. It's almost 11 o'clock at night. So I would like to return some time to you and let you all get on with your evening. Again, as I said, I doubt that I'll be here tomorrow night because we'll be doing some service work at somebody's house. And it's Friday night, and I want to dote on my wife a little bit as well. But if I get out there on the weekend, I see you all in the Carniverse, I'll be sure to check on you and let you know. Again, I do open it up to you all. If you want to come on sometime, my email is just my handle, carnivorescott@gmail.com. You can feel free to send me an email. If you have a prayer request, send me an email. I'm always open to pray for people at any point in time. If you have something of specificity, and it doesn't mean that it has to be publicly shared. I would never do that, okay? But I really appreciate you coming and spending time here tonight. And that, hey, I really appreciate the last night we were able to get Woodster over the 1,000. That was awesome. I will be endeavoring to help with the play hours. I think that'd be the next thing we can do for one another. But in all things, my soul is lifted knowing that there are so many believers, and that as believers we are bold in our faith and strong in our walk and graceful in all that we're doing. And I think that is an amazing thing in this day and age. I'm going to just read a few of the thank you. I will. I hope you all will. Good night. Thank you. Okay. I'll hit them from on screen so we can see real quick. Good night. Yep. New webcam. Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Good night, Lisa. Thank you. Dawn, thank you very much. Everybody have a blessed evening. And like I like to say, I hope each and every one of you are Jesus free today, tomorrow, and forever. Good night. God bless.